Hey guys, Harlequin Reaper here, and I wanted to bring you this video. It is a build video for Aurelion Sol. This is the first time I'm doing any type of video of this nature. I likely won't continue doing these types of videos, at least not in mass, because there's way better YouTubers at it. As an example, Red Mercy is someone I actually follow for mid lane builds and guides. So go ahead and check out his channel. Link will be in the description if you want to check out one of his latest guides. However, I love Aurelion Sol. I love the idea of the dragon champion. I love that he's from space. He's a space dragon, and this was obviously after I had been watching Star Wars like crazy. So I was thinking, oh hey, he's kind of like a star killer when I just randomly built this during a game. And so I kind of wanted to practice with it more, and this build really grew on me as something that I would love to see a little more commonly on Aurelion Sols, at least on my team if I'm AD carry. So without further ado, let's get into the build and what it's meant to be. So this build basically encompasses getting some heavy armor and more than that, heavy health. You will have over 3,000 health, almost 4 by the end of this build, depending on runes, masteries, etc, etc, as well as if you want to change up the build here and there. Now, what's the purpose of a tankier Aurelion Sol with AoE damage? Well, the purpose of this is that right now in the meta, tanks are ruling. Tanks are coming back into the meta, which means it's super hard for any tank to get blown up. It's super hard to get to some of the backlines because of the fact that the super tanks up top, such as Maokai, Scion, Nautilus, are just in your way. And this build incorporates a tanky Aurelion Sol with damage over time, an area effect damage over time that will actually murder some tanks. And I hope you're able to use this in the game, and I hope this actually works out for you. So to start off here, I always like to go Doran's Ring plus 2 pots. However, it may not be bad to get a Doran's Shield as well. The reason for that is it depends on who your mid lane matchup is. It could be someone like an Azir, in which case I may go Corrupting Potion. Likely not though. It's still gonna go the Doran's Ring and 2 pods. But if it's someone like a Zed, a Talon, a Varus mid, any of the AD damage, you might just want to go ahead and go Doran's Shield plus pods, and maybe even get a refillable potion on your first back, depending on how well the lane matchup is going. Now after this, again, depending on your matchup, there are different paths you're going to take, but the absolute first item that I recommend building right away is Rod of Ages. The reason for that is because you want to get those stacks going on as soon as possible. Plus, as Aurelion Sol, you can be poked out pretty hard depending on that matchup. So building up a Rod of Ages, getting that catalyst will help you survive the laning phase and help you get into your next build, which will be, in my opinion, your power spike here. Now, here's where things change up a bit. If you're going against a mid lane mage or a mid lane AP assassin ability power, it should be no surprise that I recommend Abyssal Scepter. Abyssal Scepter is pretty effective for its cost. You get high magic resist, you get some ability power, and more importantly, you get magic penetration. However, in this build, Abyssal Scepter is actually the core item for Aurelion Sol. So in that being said, Abyssal Scepter if you're going up against a mage. However, if you're going up against an assassin like Zed, who's apparently making a comeback, and which is strange to me because I thought he was nerfed, and Talon, Varus, I've seen lots of Varuses mid lately. Jace has been a thing that's popping up here and there. If you're going up against them, I absolutely recommend going Sunfire Cape first. Why Sunfire? Sunfire because it gives you some health, a lot of health, plus it gives you the AoE damage of the Sunfire Cloak for when those mages, when those assassins get on top of you. So when the assassins are diving in on you, or if it's Jace, for example, if anyone coming close to you, you're still going to do some damage over time. You have your stun to stun them out, and then you have your outer ring to increase the damage as well as if they try to back off. So actually, if they try to go in for a trade of you, they're actually going to get hurt quite a bit, as well as it helps them not insta-kill you. If you can survive the initial burst of any assassin as Aurelion Sol, and this is after 6, then you can ult them back, and suddenly they're in a very bad position because you're doing damage over time, area effect as well over them, and they're just going to get blown up, or they're going to lose the trade in a very bad way. Now, both of these items, Abyssals and Sunfires, is something you should build together. You should build both items in the build that I'm representing here. However, build either or first depending on your lane matchup. After that, build the other item and you should be solid. Everyone knew this way back in Season 4, I believe it was Season 4, when Sunfire Abyssal was a really popular thing, because the Abyssal's magic reduction does affect the Sunfire's passive, which does damage over time as magic damage. So this does affect it and it does give you more damage overall. Now, after this, what should you build? I recommend Rylai's. Rylai's has always been touted as the core item for Aurelion Sol. Now, for me, I say core is the Abyssal because Abyssal is going to affect all these items that we're building here, or just about all of them. So Rylai should be next, though, and that should be obvious. Aurelion Sol should be going a bit tankier with the Rylai's, and by this point, you have quite a bit of health, more health than anyone would expect of a mid lane mage. In this case, I always consider Aurelion Sol a control mage. So Rylai slows them down, and by this point you should also be completing, or you should have completed your Boots of Swiftness. I say Boots of Swiftness because you need to be able to kite in and out of these fights with your outer ring activated. You need to be able to slow key champions as well as get those stuns in when you need to, as well as the Boots of Swiftness are synergized so well with Aurelion Sol, not just the Rylai's, but when you throw out your Q, it lets you get just a little bit more movement in there before that Q auto pops. So basically you get more distance. If you have no boots or just tier 1 boots, you're not going to be able to chase it as far, as well as you had Sorcerer Shoes. I recommend Boots of Swiftness all the time on Aurelion Sol. So after Rylai's, the next one, and this is beautiful, is Liandry's. Why? Liandry synergizes with Rylai's, and it does damage over time, and it benefits from Abyssal Scepter. By this point, once you've got your full build, you are a monster. You will be killing tanks because of Rylai's and Liandry's. Liandry's gets bonus damage. I believe it's double damage if the target is slowed. If the target is movement impaired, that does double damage. In the reign of tanks, percent health damage reigns supreme. Vayne usually will make her comeback when tanks are coming back, and I haven't seen too many Vaynes lately. I've seen one every few games, but Vayne usually makes her comeback during these time periods. After all that, if you see the final build, Aurelion Sol basically becomes this huge tanky control mage, not straight tank, but off tank, who also does lots of damage to tanks. It's one of the perfect builds, in my mind, to go against a team that has two or three tanks who are hard initiators but have little damage, as well as you'll synergize with any off tanks you have, such as a Garen, a Xin Zhao if he builds tanky. Lee Sin's usually build tanky. This will synergize so well with them because you can follow up on their initiation without getting blown up completely. This isn't the perfect build, however. Understand that you can still get poked out. Aurelion Sol still has his key weaknesses of not being naturally tanky, so he can die even with the full build, even with your pots and everything. You can still die in 2 or 3 seconds if you get focused down. So the key part here is still not to be in the front line. You are not a frontline tank, but you can be the second line initiator. You can protect your back line. With all the damage over time, you become this huge entire zone with outer ring and everything where nothing can get inside of, nothing can hurt you, and you just murder everybody. Anyways, guys, as I said, this is my first time doing any type of these builds. I wanted to make it super quick so that way it was understood. I love this build, and I just wanted to get it out there. But I am not the person to come see for wacky, weird builds. I love weird builds. I love trying to synergize different things. And maybe I'll make another video similar to this one. I don't know. You guys tell me. However, I still recommend checking out some other YouTubers who have much better build guides and how to play them, what the pros and cons of them. My favorite one that I watch is Red Mercy. He is not paying me to say anything like this. Don't worry. I have not actually even spoken to him ever. He's just somebody that I watch and I drew inspiration from as far as coming up with my own builds over the past 2 years of playing League of Legends. Anyways, guys, that'll be it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.